call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grid 6 feet like Kenny.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
What is good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Raidenero, and we are back at it again for another episode of Future Financial Strategies. And man, it's been a good week, folks. It's been a good week. We're everyone's knee deep in this little controversy, little tiff, little sparked outrage in regards to what is needed to be wealthy, what is needed to be financially free. And, you know, we've spoken on it over on Guns and Butter, but we're going to speak on it here because this specifically is kind of the lane that we've positioned ourselves in. This is a show by somebody who's actively grinding it out, getting it out the mud with you. And, you know, I got some thoughts, so we're gonna do our opening on that. And the gist of it, what it boils down to, is financial freedom is really something that's identified by the person, and that is different than wealth in most cases, unless you already are living a wealthy lifestyle where you are bleeding out of your orifices in debt. Because obviously we're working our way out there. I'm not there yet, so I would never say that I am wealthy. I would say the wealth that I've accumulated is definitely above average. It is definitely something that falls into the category of the upper 12% if you actually break that down and mine it out based on the numbers. It's what it is. Top 12%. You do that. I mean, that actually means if you hash out the fact that I'm not dysgenic, like most of these wealthy guys are, because a lot of y'all are out here rich and dysgenic, which is why you have to have money. You have to lead with your wallets. I guess that pushes that number up higher because I am anomalous in that fashion as well. That said, I'm not by any means in the category of, oh, I can do whatever I want. I also don't build or measure in that because I'm too busy working to do whatever I want. And I understand in these forward-facing YouTube streets, a lot of the allure and a lot of the way that they make their money here is by flexing on you and showing you that they can do whatever they want, even though them doing whatever they want is a tax write-off. But, you know, it's what it is. If you're using it as a write-off, like that's cool. That's one way to flex on people, make them feel bad about their situations. I don't ascribe to that belief. But to each their own, I mean, if you can make it a business expense, make it a business expense. Why not? Like, none of the wealthy people that I know really function in that fashion because they're not on YouTube. It's crazy how that works, right? When you're not on YouTube, you're driving Fords. When you are on YouTube, you've got Taycons, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis, and all the craziness. But again, it's forward facing. There's a lot of back and forth, and a lot of content creators that are weighing in on this. And it's the key ones within the community are Earn Your Leisure, Anton Daniels, and Richard Fain. And Richard Fain has his angle, and we've addressed a couple of things. I mean, obviously, being a small content creator who's not monetized and can say whatever they want and tell you the truth, no one responds to me. No one cares what I say. So I can say whatever I want. I'll keep rocking out, and I'm going to continue saying whatever I want because I don't have to live here. When you actually own a business that employs people, you have things to work on. I don't make my money off YouTube. Donations are appreciated. It helps build out the platform, helps seed this kind of hobby thing. And when I move in, I'll let you know. But I don't make my money here. So when they're having these conversations, I think it's interesting because everyone who's having the conversation is on the mountaintop, which obviously is supposed to be a barrier of entry because they don't want you to tell them what you're doing on the way to grind it out. They want you to tell them after you're better than them, after you can disparage anything that they say and discredit them by saying they're poor, you got more money than they do, which Anton Daniels' response to Richard Fain basically kind of was that little bit of flex, like, yeah, look at what I'm doing. I got more money than you. Like, okay, if you're both in the NBA, then never broke again, which is the goal, right? I mean, unless somebody said that they had more money than you, that doesn't matter. I don't think so. If you're both comfortable, you both get to have the cars, you both get to have the houses. I mean, it sounds like there's different ways to win, which is interesting because out of my mentorship, it seems like that. Even within the same space, they didn't do the same things to get there. But me not being monetized, I'm going to spill the beans. Once you get to the mountaintop, generally speaking, every wealthy person that's ever poured into me has said, you can't do what I did to get where I'm at. That door is closed. Because generally speaking, the way the system works is everybody's not supposed to win. And a lot of the times, the landscapes, the opportunities that those families had that they capitalized on are no longer available to everybody else. Like in theory, yes. In practice, doing the exact same steps now. And so that's where future financial strategies, what we focus on over here, is maximizing your financial literacy. Definitely an advocate of bag chasing. I am a bag chaser. Shout out to Anton Daniels and the bag chaser. But like we're working a little bit different. Like I'm not switching careers every 3 years. I don't like dealing with people like that. I'd rather maximize what I got. Again, I also consider myself constantly in competition with the field that I'm in and my job because I'm trying to make mines outside of that to the tune of not necessarily having to go in there. Right. So like, and whenever they give me a raise, I got to like work on catching that. Like I got to catch my salary because for me, I know my financial freedom number. I am tracking my net worth every month. You guys are here with me when we do the numbers and we talk about how we're running the bag up and the jumps and leaps that we're making, increasing the net worth 13 grand because, crypto's doing well. We're using all financial strategies. But when it comes to do you need $10 million to be wealthy? And I mean, I guess if we're going to continually up the barrier of entry to that, I find that interesting concept because also none of my mentorship tells me how many millions of dollars they have. Like we know that they've got well over 10 in most cases because their houses are over that and they own things and run cities and infrastructurally run cities, not like politicianally run cities. I mean, like if their family's business doesn't do something, the city don't run the way that it's supposed to. Runs cities, owns all the property. And none of them really lead with that conversation either. They don't go, oh, I'm a deca millionaire. I got $10 million. Oh, you got to have this amount of money. Their ethos is basically level one is just not have to go to work. So that's kind of what we're focused on over here. So like the deca millionaire, the one thing that I will say is all of their prescriptions seem to be for their lane for how they made it based on their lifestyle and their ideology, because all of these are just numbers that are thrown out. So should we be aiming for 10 million? Why not aim for 20 million? Why not aim for 30 million? Why not aim for 40 million? It's better to fail aiming high than to succeed aiming extremely low. Like I'd rather my aim is not to have a net worth of $200,000. Like we'll hit that this year. That's a really terrible goal. If like that was my stop off point, that'd be real bad. I would prefer to fail going towards 10 million. And I do agree with Anton's response in that sense. You should always aim high. You should always have your goal set to where you're going to fail at the goal. Like it should be that high so that it just pulls you forward. And I feel like Richard Fain's response to Earn Your Leisure was more along the lines of he's more interested in how people feel. Now, if you're in the wealth game, it's not about feeling. This is just about math and aiming at a higher number and failing and getting a higher number than succeeding at aiming at a lower number than that is better. Like you have a process, you follow the process. But like the definitiveness of wealthy, like if you can do anything that you want at $2 million, like I guess if we're going to go pie in the sky and it's like at the drop of a hat, you can do anything you want, then like, sure. But the reality of that scenario is there's always someone who's going to disqualify you. The reality of the situation is there's not actual millionaires unless they make their money in the YouTube space. They're sitting there having that conversation, because actual millionaires and people that actually got it, generally, if they're not living on YouTube and that's a large portion of their income, they're not on YouTube talking about it. I know none of my mentorship are on YouTube talking about it, telling you that you're broke and that this is what you need to have. Like the people that they mentor, they give you game specifically. Like I picked up another one. Actually, got in front of another one today that's going to be giving me game on real estate to add a different perspective, because he's well into it. They're building some really, really awesome high-end townhomes that literally, when you roll into the neighborhood, outside of the two at the entry of the neighborhood, they don't look like townhomes. It looks just like a house. And they did that on purpose, and they're luxury. They got like all this cool stuff in it. Super expensive, but like literally, we were talking. At no point did he tell me, even though he built all these houses in this neighborhood, at no point did he throw it in my face that I don't have as much money as him. He just started giving me game. He was like, oh, like that's what you're trying to do? Oh, maybe you should look at this. This is how this works. And like literally broke it down and just started giving me game. This dude builds a neighborhood. I'm not checking his pockets. Like he like blatantly has receipts, like doing what some of your favorite gurus are talking about, actively doing it. Been doing it for decades. Also in the commercial space heavy. But at no point in the conversation was he like, I've got $10 million. Listen to what I got to say. It was like, I know how to do this. Blatantly, you're standing in a house that I built. Do you want to go across the street and look at a house that is almost getting built so that you can see the skeleton of it, so I can explain to you how the sound barrier works and the things that they're doing differently to keep sound from transferring on the adjoining wall of the townhomes from one unit to the other unit to keep it quieter in their luxury. Like it's really interesting when you're out here connecting with people that are actually doing this stuff. And you know, actually that guy does have some stuff on YouTube, but he's not sitting around on, like, he's selling houses and building houses. That's where he makes his money. He puts information out there for his real estate business. He does put some game on YouTube, but he's not on here on panels arguing with people, arguing with other content creators. He's active in his craft. Like when you own something, it's interesting how that works. But out of all my mentorships, that's the only person who has a YouTube channel. That's out here giving game. And it's something to keep in mind because I consume a lot of content. And like you have your favorites, you have people that you argue with. Like I'm always on whenever actually I'm all like my whole thing is like whenever they step into the crypto lane, like all three of them are horribly wrong. Like they haven't done it for a decade. But they have the same attitude as in the spaces that they're familiar with when they talk about things that they don't know, because apparently on YouTube, in these YouTube streets, saying I don't know is very problematic. And you know, we talk a lot about Bitcoin this next 12 to 24 months. We already, like, you know, Wall Street Trapper already gave you all the heads up. We're going to be on next. It's our time. There's nothing. I mean, it's been our time, and we'll go into that a little bit later in the video, but not knowing about a space doesn't mean that the space, it's like if you don't believe in it, it doesn't exist. I'd be like, if I said that, like, yo, I don't know about stocks like Wall Street Trapper, I don't know about stocks like Anton Daniels, who does have a really, really decent breakdown on how he picks stocks. It's really good. You should tap in with the bag chases. Link is down in the description. Look at that. I promote people I don't even agree with on everything. It's just the one thing. It's just the one thing. Just don't talk about crypto, people. Stay out of that lane specifically. And don't have people up to have soft pitch conversations that like don't necessarily know this space. Like I can tell you, I've done everything in the cryptocurrency space in the over 10 years that I've been in it now, except for development. Like if you want to talk about coding, that's fine. But coding is not the crypto space. Coding is not the asset class. The coding of it is not like that's part of it. Sure, if you want to talk about backend, but governments aren't talking about coding when they're buying cryptocurrency. Governments aren't talking about coding when they're making Bitcoin an official currency in their country. No one's talking about coding when their economy is flatlining and they're transacting in Bitcoin. No one's talking about coding when we're talking about the trillions of dollars that flow through Bitcoin a year, that it's been verified that less than 0.05%, because Bitcoin is a ledger. You can see all the transactions on it, guys. Those of you who do the coding should know that it's not hidden. It's nothing that can't be seen. It can be fully researched. 0.05% for nefarious deeds. So that's just money transferring, people doing normal stuff, existing. $1 trillion moving through the network every year. Just saying. With no issues, by the way. But like knowing a piece of how something works doesn't mean you know how it works, doesn't mean you're familiar with the space. And I understand, because most everybody follows up with oh, well, you don't invest with things that you don't invest in things that you don't know. But you also shouldn't talk trash on things that you don't know, because like lives are changing over here. I'm just saying. And you know, I always reference back to my personal story, because like when they're saying that like, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, it's not real, I don't understand it, it's all going to go to zero. I'm like, well, that's cool, but you know what? $30,000 in credit card debt will also went to zero. A house that allowed me to house hack, that allowed me to free up my finances to start doing the investing that you talk about on all of these platforms, also came from that. Also, it wasn't just investing in Shiba Inu and meme coins and then thinking that the bad experience that you had in that, Richard, because you were trying to get rich tomorrow, which you talk against on your channel, which is wild to me. Like, it's wild to me that these people who know what they're doing, who know finance, enter into a new space and then go straight to gambling. Straight to gambling. No logic. I'm not blaming you, but like when I got into this space, I was not wealthy either. So like I did need to try to get rich tomorrow, but like if you got it like that, I don't understand how these dudes roll into these spaces and go straight to the most gambling, I'm trying to get rich at the end of the year thing, and you bought at the peak, and then you ascribe that to the entire market because you had a bad experience, because you got your hand slapped, because you did what you advocate to not do, and didn't even go in with the boring safe stuff. You went in, and your reference point and like your counter argument for the market is you lost money buying a peak on a meme coin. You didn't buy the stuff that the government was buying. You didn't buy the stuff that MicroStrategy was buying. You didn't buy the stuff that Tesla was buying. Tesla got Bitcoin. You didn't do that. But now the entire space is a scam, and you got to be careful and do all this because you don't know. Just say you don't. If you don't know, just say that. But I digress. We're focused on future financial strategies over here. So we leverage everything. Also, they shame everyone for having a mortgage. Jeez, I'm terrible. Do you know what I didn't have to do over the pandemic? Move 5 times. You know what I didn't have to do over the pandemic? Raise my roommates' rents because we're house hacking. I secured my rent, my roommates' rents. They haven't had to worry about things not being paid. And I understand obviously my channel not monetized. I'm here for the few of you that get it, not the ones that don't, because I don't worry about the losers. You guys got Anton Daniels, Richard Fain, and Earn Your Leisure that cares about the losers. I don't. We are the wolf pack over here. We are hungry and we are moving forward. We're going to run the numbers up, and we're going to use because as a fellow brokey, because you know what I'm saying? Like the first thing they're going to say is like, oh, you're not rich like us. You ain't got $10 million. You're right. I don't. You're right. That's why we use in everything. You talking about you a deca millionaire. Y'all deca millionaires, multimillionaires, bazillionaires, whatever y'all are. In the NBA, never broke again. Talking about how you can pay cash for everything. That's cool, bro. The rest of us trying to eat. The rest of us are trying to get off the ship that we're on, because one of the things that y'all do know that you don't talk about is the window's closing, and you already in the ship that's going to make it. You already in the ship that can navigate. The rest of us got to do whatever we can, whatever possible to acquire and move forward, which means we got to use all the tools. We can't be over here talking about cash only. We can't be over here talking about, oh, this cash only. We talking about, oh, you gotta navigate this way. You can't get a loan for your house. Like, bruh, I'm about to run these houses up with these loans. Actually, the dude that I talked to today poured into me, I can do this 10 times. The first 10 homes is coming one specific way. Now, is it going to be overnight? No. Am I over leveraged? I don't believe so. Like, I don't know. When you got somebody pouring into you and you got a year backstop on every single property that you get, just in case something happens, that you splitting, and part of it's in a portfolio that's kicking off money. I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. But like, I know a lot of wealthy people that got debt. They utilize debt. It's called capital flow for a reason. So, you know, I'm using tools. I'm not putting no hands in my pockets during a fist fight, because that's what this is, and we already know. We done the tenets of the financial red pill. Ain't none of these people coming to save us, and they're making money selling us half truths in most cases. Like, some sell less half truths than others, but I mean, it's sensational. It's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be edgy. It's supposed to get you feeling some type of way. It's supposed to get us talking about what they're talking about. It's supposed to keep them in that algorithm. That's the reason we speak on them. That's the reason we tag them in the video, because like, I don't really mess with Earn Your Leisure. They made me so mad with how inaccurate they were about the cryptocurrency and NFT space that I can't deal with that, because like, they're not of this space. They expanded their platform. I respect what they're doing over there, but like, this space, I'm not gonna lie, and it's not that I'm emotionally tied to it. It's just this is how I got breathing room. This is how I changed my life. this space afforded me those things. So when people talk inaccurately about it, I do get upset. I do feel some type of way. I don't like it when people talk inaccurately about anything, but like I definitely don't like it when people disparage a space that they don't understand, talking about it using inaccurate terms, not coming at it from the right angle, and then coming at it from the angle that of the way that people who have a bad impression of the space is not looking on a 5 to 10 year time horizon, because you wouldn't be buying meme stocks. The same reason you don't buy AMC and GameStop. You wouldn't be buying meme coins. And then ascribing that over things and in the face of the government, BlackRock. So y'all are actually smarter and doing better than BlackRock? Interesting. Y'all got more money than BlackRock? Interesting. You got more money than MicroStrategy? Interesting. That's something to know. Y'all smarter than everybody. Y'all smarter than the government. Okay. Like, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I guess once this ETF comes through and you guys all change your tune, and then Bitcoin's okay, and you guys jump on board and everybody goes along to get along, and the people who follow you are put even further at a disadvantage, because by that point, by the time, I'll tell you this right now, Bitcoin's going to be about, either we're going to be at the previous all-time high of 60, 65K, 70K, or 100K, when all of these guys bend the knee and they're like, oh, Bitcoin's great. Yeah, well, everybody should look into it. After it's going to be even harder for the general public to see it as feasible. I've been advocating for this for 8 years actively, even before I was on YouTube, because I haven't been on YouTube for 8 years. I've only been doing this for a little over a year. You know, we moving along, slow growing. I enjoy talking to people on here. I enjoy passing down this information. I enjoy tracking this for historical documentation of the process, which shout outs to Anton Daniel again. He said, track the process, which is interesting. So I figured, you know, I'm not a corporate guy. I'm not super smart. I'm probably worse than a C student. So I'm just going to track the process of me making it. I think that's pretty interesting. When it comes to financial strategy, kind of pretty good at it. Made some things happen for myself, got some results, and have put myself in a space that most people don't necessarily get to be in, you know? Like, so we're going to jump into the episode. Let's start off. Hold on a second. Obviously, we gotta get in here, because we got to share a screen. And we did this over on Future Financial Strategies, but we're going to revisit it again, because my question is this. Which time frame do y'all want? Because all the people who are saying that, like, oh, Bitcoin, it's not good. So we'll start off at, you know, I'll even give you the 1 day. The 1 day we are down 0.13%. That's $50. We're down $49.20. We're sitting at $37,297. $37,297.50. Now, when you move out to the 5 day, we are up 6.38%, $2,238.10. When we move up to the 1 month, and I'm trying to move this up slow. Matter of fact, let me be smaller. I want this loud for the people in the back who talking about Bitcoin, bro. That's the 1 month. We're at 38.81%. Now, I'm pretty sure that at the 1 month, if you just held Bitcoin, you beaten Wall Street Trapper's portfolio. Not that he doesn't do a great job. I'm just saying the comparison between our market and the standard market, it's not comparable. There's no asset that performs better than Bitcoin. There's no trader that performs better than Bitcoin. 14 years, we got the data, and I'm going to show you. Because we come with receipts. And this is the thing that upsets me. It's like, you got a bunch of money guys that don't know how to Google Bitcoin and look at the chart. Like, you got, like, pick your date range. Pick it. Which one you want to go? You want to go 6 month? Oh, we're up 38.11%. That's $10,292.60. You want to go year to date? Oh, we're up 124.61%. That's $20,692.40. That's year to date. You want to go 1 year, up 119%, 119.25%. That's $20,286. You want to go 5 year? Okay, let's go 5 year. Oh, 5 year. Now, mind you, we've been in here longer than 5 years, but I'm just saying 5 years. You're up 888.02%. That is $33,522.51. You want to go max chart 14 years? We're up 11,305.96%, people. That's $36,970.50. Pick your range. Pick your range, because math don't care about your feelings. Math don't, and I understand people want it broken down and you got to explain it to them like, bro, pick your chart. Government uses it. BlackRock's actively trying to get a spot ETF, which means that they have to have the physical asset in order to leverage paper, to give out paper asset against it. That's BlackRock. Tesla owns Bitcoin. MicroStrategy owns Bitcoin. You want, man, since we got to lay it out like this, let's look up companies that hold Bitcoin. And this includes the government. Our government owns Bitcoin. Here, let me share this page for y'all. Let's talk about it. MicroStrategy with the largest Bitcoin holdings. MicroStrategy, Tesla, Galaxy Digital, Coinbase, Marathon Digital, Gemini, Galaxy, Voyager, Blockstream. Okay, so the NASDAQ holds it in multiple different ways. I understand that like a lot of these are hold on, let's see here. Buy Bitcoin worldwide. Let's see here. Let's see here. 8 mining. So Tesla is MicroStrategy is the number one holder of Bitcoin. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to here because they got it in list form for you. Since you guys are smarter than everybody. Let's see here. MicroStrategy, that's a publicly traded American company. Largest holder of Bitcoin. Third, another company. Tesla, holding 10,725 Bitcoin on their books. The company. That's a company. Let's see here. Digital. I'm pretty sure these are because I'm really not even worried about like the mining companies. I'm looking for companies. But look at this. This is all over the place. But the top 3 holders of Bitcoin are the United States. United States all over this list. Canada also has mining groups that are holding Bitcoin. Japan also has mining groups that are holding Bitcoin. I don't even know what country that is because I'm an American. Don't know. NFT Investments PLC also holding Bitcoin. Germany, Bitcoin. Don't know those countries because I'm an American. Bitcoin. But China, Bitcoin. Countries and governments that own Bitcoin. USA, number 1 holder of Bitcoin. Our government. China's government, number 2 holder of Bitcoin. Oh, look at that. Ukraine, the Ukrainian government, 3rd largest holder of Bitcoin. El Salvador, 4th largest holder of Bitcoin. Finland, 5th largest holder of Bitcoin. And the country of Georgia, 6th largest holder of Bitcoin. Now, that's and we just gonna leave it at that because the Bitcoin conversation, this is easily searchable stuff, people. Stop having bad conversations with these people because you get in stage fright because you up there talking to a big dog, talking to one of the titans, because they are titans and they know what they know. But just because you're a titan and just because you got money doesn't mean you know everything. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett got more money than everybody, all the gurus that we talking about in this video combined. Period. Never going broke again, ever. They don't know about cryptocurrency. They talk trash about cryptocurrency. This is kind of the thing. The person who's getting disrupted always looks at the little brother and they're like, "Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about." Until it's time to be disrupted. Over here on Future Financial Strategies, we try to be positioned where the ball is going. Not only are we using all the tools on the table, we take the information from the gurus and we eat those. You know what I'm saying? You got to humble yourself. When Anton Daniels speaks, you got to humble yourself. Sometimes when Richard Fain speaks and he's not on his Dave Ramsey-esque, except for I'm woke stuff, you got to humble yourself and listen to him because he does have good points as well. Earn your leisure. When they're in their bag, very much know what they're talking about. Very much. But not everybody knows about things, especially when it comes to like other people who've been in spaces longer. Like, Earn Your Leisure ain't going to tell me how to turn up a Crestron system. They don't know that. They probably don't have control systems in their homes. Like, I'm not going to sit there and let them speak with authority on that. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know networking infrastructure. You don't know control system programming. Like, I know those things. I've also been doing that for a decade. What are you talking about? Crypto, when they're talking and they're wrong, you don't know. Like, that's fine. But you're talking to somebody who does know. Like, when you do know, you do know. And like, I understand that there's people in the crypto space that are, you know, they've been here, but they're not active in it. They're not using smart contracts. They're not into the DeFi world. They're not moving their money off on chain. They're not doing on chain transactions. They're not messing with that stuff. So they don't know. So they can't speak to it. Like, over here, we speak to stuff. We speak to things that we're testing. We're very inquisitive. We're very perspicacious, and we try things. And I give you the feedback as we do it. Just like when we start monetizing this debt, I'm going to let y'all know if this check goes into the bank account. You know what I'm saying? December 1st, we starting to roll out some money. Over on crypto portfolio updates, you know, we got some strategies that we have over there that are strategies that we use for leveraging our crypto. We report back. We're tearing down the portfolio actively. After we tear it down, we got to pay that loan back. We got to interact with the blockchain over there on Alchemix. Get those funds back. Get that Ethereum back into the Ethereum pool. Rinse and repeat. We've got to figure out where we're deploying that capital and how we're going to leverage it to do the start off for the next portfolio. But also, another thing that we're probably going to be doing is pulling back in that we're going to start banging out the Nexo because we're starting to borrow money in-house. We're looking for inexpensive money. We're looking for cheap money. And we still got some left, people. And so we getting that money active. And we're going to get that rolled out too. So we're like, all the tools. There's stuff that we can do in the crypto space that you can't do in the traditional space. There's stuff that we can do in the traditional space that people just aren't doing in the traditional space. They're using money wrong. Why? Like, where people normally, these offers that I get for 0% interest with like a 4% up front, they use that to go on vacation. They use that to do other things besides build assets and buy assets. We using credit to buy assets. We pay for our trips ourselves. We broke. That's the way it's got to be. We got to create wealth by any means necessary. Like, if I'm going to go do something fun, pay for it myself. But all these, now that we've got this credit paid off, we got plans to pay it back. We got pools of money that we can pull that from that we're currently utilizing to kind of front run some of these investments to get the numbers running sooner. We running the bag up. We getting ready. We get in position. It's going to be great. We're saving for the home in Bitcoin. That is going well. It's going to go well. We'll be able to convert that back over. We're going to have a fat down payment. It is what it is. Like, the numbers are the numbers. But let's get into the news. So now that we've talked about Bitcoin, It's the beginning of the Bitcoin bull run, so we'll see a little bit more crypto stuff over on this channel as well to bring some people over here. And I think the way that we're gonna do this is the portfolio updates is going to run the way that it is with the crypto stuff that we talk about over here on Future Financial Strategies. Since it is going to be bull run, it's going to be heavily affecting everything. Is we're going to be talking about the financial literacy aspect of this, because a lot of people get into the cryptocurrency space, they pop off. We're going to have a great 12 to 24 months. Everybody's going to be right. A lot of money going to be flowing in to those of us who are in the space and active. Unfortunately, a lot of people are, if you're not financially literate, it doesn't matter how you get the money in, you don't keep it. And we're focused on keeping it. So we're going to be focusing on that aspect. But I do have some news stories. So let's jump into this. Because we know all the gurus, crypto, dangerous. It's launch yourself. I lost money in it, Richard. Well, you know who else is having some problems right now? People who bank at Citizens Bank. Iowa's Citizens Bank shuttered. Assets and deposits assumed by Iowa Trust and Savings Company. That's another bank failure, folks. It's another bank that failed in the middle of the country. We got Citizens Banks down here where I'm at. These banks are collapsing. Bitcoin's dangerous, though. We're up on every metric, just destroying it, crushing it. Apparently, the bank can't stay open. Got to get bought out. Got to get saved. Shutters the doors. Now you're banking with Iowa Trust and Savings Bank. Hope you like them. Hope they're good. Hope they don't collapse too. Kind of interesting that we still have bank collapses happening, and this is no longer in the media spotlight now. This is another middle of the country. They're not attached to crypto in any way. This is just a bank. What are they doing with the money that they ain't able to make it? Like they're getting crushed. The regular banks. And we had that conversation a few episodes back. You might want to go scroll back because I already done gave my synopsis of the bank. We're consolidating down. There's going to be 5. That's the reason I said if you're using these banks, you better be working towards a private banking relationship. And if you're going to do that, you might as well do it with one of the big 5 and figure out what you need to do to get your foot in the door over there. Because that's what we're focused on. Still, like I said, like we're running the bag up over here. We are getting our stuff in place so that way we can bolster that account with Citibank. We're gonna get that private banking relationship. I'm a hair outside of it. Hair outside of the intro level, because like Citi, they usher you into it. They catch you at about, I think it's somewhere between, I think it's about $30,000 in assets that are being held and or managed by them. And so, you know, we're gonna go ahead and bulk that account out. I'm gonna keep managing my portfolio myself. Like they got the robot managers and all that cool, interesting stuff over there. I don't trust it. I don't think it does as well as what I'm trying to get set up. Because, you know, you got to have your checking and your savings set up right, because I keep a bare minimum of money in those. So it's got to be something on the back end. We're trying to get another employee working for us. We're trying to get some income. Another thing that I agree with Anton Daniels on is there's no such thing as truly passive income. You got to work it to make it work. And I'm 100% with him on that. And that's one of the inefficiencies. Like I don't do the auto deducts. I don't do the auto transactions. I manually do that stuff myself. I don't drip my dividends. I manually redeploy them myself. I just don't believe in it. That's one of the few things I actually enjoy dealing with money. I actually enjoy the financial strategy behind it. I actually enjoy moving the money, transferring it between the banks. I do all that myself manually. The old-fashioned way. Like, well, I mean, as old-fashioned as it can get. I got to go on the site and like move the money around, click deploy, click buy. I got to keep like a little digital ledger that I go and check off the stuff, because I'm like, this amount of money needs to move here, this amount of money needs to move here. And then when the bonus money come in, we sit that in a pool until it's ready to deploy. We get ready to do that too. We just keep it moving. I shoot the stuff over to CashApp because we banging out them CashApp loans with the flat 6%. We pay back 10%. We walk with 4% added to our borrowing pool. We doing that. Speaking of which, I got to put that on the calendar because we're starting to track that. But yeah, you know, Citizens Bank is shutting down. Bitcoin's booming. The personal bank of Ray, the in-home bank, booming. Going the right direction. Working on getting the house back out to, we're trying to get 6 months out. We're getting there. We are getting there. We're 2 months out on the mortgage now. On the first, if the credit monetization works out, we'll be 4 months out. As soon as we get the in-home banking pool up to the amount of a payment, that will probably be the 5th month. I got a couple of more, because like what we're doing is we're running that for purchases. So I got some stuff going on around here. You'll notice that there's going to be more art coming up in the studio, getting this space all nice. I'm probably going to be switching out my computer stand with something a little bit more functional and usable. That's going to be interesting. Doing some experimentation, you know what I'm saying? Like getting some things moving around. Obviously I'm putting some money into the studio space too. We want to make it nice. I want to make it efficient. I work in this studio also. Running the numbers up on the down payment for the house. That's going to be all in Bitcoin. We'll be tracking that over on Crypto Portfolio Updates. It's going to be nice. We'll be tracking it here too. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. The last story is a bit fun on the positive end. It is BlackRock increasingly confident that the SEC will approve its spot Bitcoin ETF in January. They're saying that roughly around January 10th is going to be the last day for this. Now, me personally, having been in this space a lot longer than all your favorite crypto gurus, we've gone through an entire year over on the crypto playlist. If you're not tapped in with reminders over there and you're trying to learn about crypto, this year we built out an entire portfolio. Matter of fact, hold on a second. Let's see how that portfolio is doing. Because I'm 100% sure that my portfolio is beating Wall Street Trapper's portfolio. I'm just saying. I'm just calling it what it is. This is just math. He gives his numbers. I give my numbers. It's fine. Yeah. We up 53.12% for the year during a bear market year. We were shooting for 30. That's my metric. 20% past that going into the end of the year as we tear this down and lock in those profits and get those moved over into the positions they need to be. We will be, what's that? We will be, I think we're going to end at 50% or better. Obviously, it's just going to be a big pool of Ethereum because we're working on getting that 32 ETH. Again, passive income play. But the goal for me was 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum for the retirement. That's what we're going for. That's what we're trying to get. Now, with that said, I totally forgot that I got some more money that might be coming in. And we're gonna get that. So the 6 months out, as far as the mortgage payment goes, we gonna secure that bag. Like that's happening. And then we're gonna have 6 months that are gonna be sitting in the portfolio producing dividends. We're gonna pick a position. We're gonna go with the position, and that's where the money for this first property is. And then the next property that we buy, once we start getting that rolling, we're gonna rinse and repeat. We're gonna start looking at getting 6 months of that mortgage payment ahead, and then we're going to get 6 months backstopped in the market. We're going to make it work, and that's how we rock. And that's going to be a family standard in my house. It should be a family standard within the Wolf Pack. Backstop your property. Last thing we want is you worried about something happening and you got to scramble and you got to keep cutting that check and you got to figure it out. I enjoy the lack of stress of that. Largest expense you have, you should have it in a space where if something happens, you're good. Best defense is a strong offense. But yeah, we gonna share this. So BlackRock's increasingly confident the SEC will approve its spot BTF or spot Bitcoin ETF. It's a BTF. That's funny. The world's largest asset manager. Let's see what they said. The scoop at BlackRock growing and keep increasingly confident that the SEC will approve its Bitcoin ETF by January. Sources tell Fox Business. Now, like I said, I am not banking on this like most of your people who are in the crypto space are, because this is America exclusive. What it will do, provided it goes through, is it will supercharge. If we get this in January, people, we're going to have a bull run before the bull run, because January, technically the bull run don't pop off till around April. If we get a pre-boost plus the halving, this could be the big one. You know what I'm saying? You know how they sit out there and they're like, this could be it, as far as what those of us who've been in the space are waiting for. Like, this could change everything. Normally the halvings, I've been through 3, are life-changing events for people that know what to do with the money. Now, the first halving, I tricked off. Like, I did not do well because it was my first time in, got my hand burnt. I was like Richard Fain, except for they didn't have meme coins back then. But like Richard Fain, I came in, I walked with profit, but I lost it was like $20,000 that I could have walked with had I made some different decisions. And it was not good. But instead of blaming the market and telling everybody that crypto was a scam, I actually went and researched what I did wrong. It's an interesting thing that people do that are successful. And I don't know if you stop doing it when you get old, or if boomers just didn't do this. They either just were successful or they weren't, which actually kind of seems kind of the case, because y'all boomers are weird, like a different breed. But instead of blaming the market, I took my critical thinking skills and I was like, well, I didn't like that experience. And I went and did my research. I actually started learning the space, because I realized that there were things that I didn't know, because people were winning and I wasn't winning the way they were winning. So I had to go figure out what I didn't know. Richard, you should tap in with your boy over here at Reckless Rated Narrow. I mean, I'm a small channel. Financial strategy, though, Rich, I think you'd be impressed, especially with stuff that, you're not quite familiar with. I have niche. My niche is that gray area, brother. So the second bull run, I came back, brushed myself off, and now I'm in with my money. Because the first bull run, the one thing that I did do that was really smart was that was back when you could mine Bitcoin, and I built a computer and I mined Bitcoin. And I continued to mine Bitcoin, and then I continued to mine Bitcoin. So like after it was all said and done, and I mined Bitcoin to an exchange, Coinbase, that regularly updates their user agreement policies and their authentication. So I couldn't get into the account that had the Bitcoin in there that I mined, because it wasn't a whole Bitcoin. First of all, I wasn't that good. The computer wasn't that good. It was just good enough to get something. And we didn't pay for energy, which made it even better. Sorry to that landlord. But yeah, we definitely had 2 Bitcoin mining computers set up that never turned off for 2 years. But then when the bull run happened, I didn't have access to those coin that I'd mined. And when I did get access to it was after I lost the money, and then I ended up getting into it, and the $800 computer I built netted me, I think, $6,000 over those 2 years for free that I just didn't look at. So I had a little nest egg, but I was actively putting my money in the market at this point. And, second cycle came around, and we rode through. No, it was the second cycle that I lost money. The first cycle, I just didn't have access to the Bitcoin. Then I got it at the end of that cycle. Second cycle was the one where my money's going in. I bought into a project, rode it through the peak. I didn't buy it through the peak. I rode it through the peak. Unlike Richard, rode it, but I didn't sell in time. I didn't convert it over to Bitcoin or something that I wanted to keep long-term, because I thought I wanted to keep that project long-term, because I was misinformed. So the second cycle got my hand slapped. The first cycle, I just had a panic attack. I couldn't access the Bitcoin. So then the third cycle happens. Third cycle came in. I'm dusted off. I'm a veteran now. I know what I'm doing. So the third cycle, I had my first 300x coin. Now the third cycle was shaky, but it was big wins, big losses, and the wins outweighed the losses. So, we learned along there. But the thing that we did that cycle was, since I knew I wasn't going to cash out. I wasn't going to I wasn't going to pull funds out of the market. I pulled a little bit, but not a lot. It was like a little bit. But what I did was I figured out how to leverage my crypto. Now, in doing that, I was like, well, if I'm not going to pull anything out, I can leverage some of this out, take a loan against it into real world money. That's what I figured out how to do. Now, I used those loans to pay off my credit card debt. So now you're looking at some life-changing opportunities here, because I had a community college degree of credit card debt from just me being an idiot. And the other thing that I did was I made sure that I had coverage for a down payment for my first property, which I don't navigate with property the way that most of y'all do. Every property I look at it as an investment property. I'm a house hacker. That's one of the things I like doing. I don't like paying for. I like having room to invest and expanding wealth that way. And I'm, a little bit of discomfort goes a long way, in my opinion. And my roommates are dope, so it is what it is. But we cleared out all of our consumer debt, fixed this, and secure the bag on the house, and then let the rest of the crypto ride, pay the loan back, roll through that, go through the bear market, and now we're getting ready for our fourth one. Or no, we did the one that we lost. We had the one over 2020. Yeah, this is gonna be my fourth bull run, so we're going on 12 years. And this time around, we're looking at, I think that's going to be my cycle for properties, unless we're in an amicable market with cheap money. I'm just going to coordinate adding property to the bull run. So that's what our focus is this year, is the home and getting our bank account into the private banking with Citibank. That's getting the money into there, because we should be able to line that out with the home savings and getting the backstop in there. We should be around that initial 10,000 marker, and we're just going to keep running the bag up. But if we get this, that could inject some rocket fuel, to be honest, into the plan. So then now I'm going to have to start thinking contingency for if this is the hallmark year. But also the pullback might not be the same if we got institutional money sitting in the space. So I got a lot of contingency planning. That's kind of my thing, financial strategy. So we got to have our core plan, and then the contingency plan on if this goes parabolic and hyperactive, because that's going to be a totally different space to be in, because this is the retirement play. I don't the traditional finance stuff is great, but I've always looked at my 401k, my Roth, all that stuff as failure funds. And I put everything into this space. I've said it multiple times. I'm over leveraged into crypto. Way overexposed. But that's my swing for the fence. This year, we've been talking about future financial strategies, right? We've been talking about it. I've been deleveraging. I've been focusing on getting some paper assets. I got my property. That's my hedge against Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin goes down, my property value skyrocketed. So it balances out. Obviously when Bitcoin goes back up, I don't think my property value is going to go down, but that's my hedge for that. But I also understand the need we're trying to secure all the bags. There's not a right way, but crypto is the thing that I know. It is a skill set, just like home automation is a thing that I know. Networking, also computer IT networking, a thing that I know. It's within my core skill sets. So that's what we're utilizing to get to the bag. And I'm not a crypto trader. I am very much an investor. I am very long on this. But if we can jet set this thing on towards 32 Ethereum and we can hit it this next year, that'll be impressive. I'm not sure where we're going to be sitting at the end of this year. I'm kind of excited about it because I'm looking at the positions as I'm tearing down the portfolio from last year and we're converting it over to ETH. And I'm like, man, I think this is going to end up being in a spot that is a lot more than what I thought it was, to be honest. Like, I think I'm going to be getting my ETH back and then some extra, because what I have sitting in there, it seems like I haven't, at least from like what I'm looking at in the portfolio, like what I leveraged to start this against what I had to begin. It's like I'm gonna have a few more ETH than what I thought. Like, I'm hoping that we hit 10 this year, actually, now, or more. And then next year, rinse and repeat the process. We might, we're gonna be running these numbers up. That's for sure. So I hope you guys have rocked out with me. I've given my thoughts. I'm actually, since I'm not gonna talk about somebody and not tag them. I would have had them tagged for the live yesterday to see if any of them wanted to pop through. They wouldn't. I'm a small guy. I'm a little guy. If they wanted to pop through, but when I schedule my lives out for Guns and Butter on Thursdays, it won't let me do that. But today, this evening, we will be doing a live Q&A. This episode of Guns and Butter this evening is dedicated to my crypto bros. Stop in. Those of you who are not familiar with crypto and want to ask any of the dumb questions you want to ask that you think are dumb. There's no dumb questions. There's only dumb people. And I'm assuming that if you watch this video this long, it's been over an hour, you're not dumb. And you're part of the wolf pack. We don't have dumb people over here. So I'll be fielding questions. If anybody wants to come up and hang out and also field questions and or ask questions, Guns and Butter, we have the most active chat in these YouTube streets. We also heavily interact with the chat. I'm over there hosting for you guys. The chat is where it's at. So you don't have to come up. You can just ask in the chat. It's a tight-knit group of people. We got good moderation over there. And we're just going to chop it up and we're just going to talk about crypto. And yeah, we're going to keep it focused. This is for you, crypto bros. You wanted a live. I don't ever see no lives where they're actually fielding questions or having a conversation and letting people come up and talk. So if you want to come up, tap in, definitely make sure to do that. It'll probably be a few hours after this premieres. It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro, back with you again until next week. I am out.